Welcome to Rooster Radio, a broadcast dedicated to supporting and promoting local artists in the Gaston County and surrounding areas.
But one of these days, so I think that could maybe, here's a wild thing. So you're talking about New Year's Eve night. What if you got Ricky to do that New Year's Eve?
If we could afford him.
Yeah, shit. Yeah,
if we could afford him.
I don't know. I don't think it's, so like if you would have asked me last year, I would have said that it probably wasn't thing. But now after at least did a tour and stuff like that, I can imagine
it's hard to say. I mean, look, we're still small potatoes, like when you
that's what I tell people. People are like, get Limp Bizkit.
You got 110 grand? Because that's about what they cost.
Even like Spirit Box, some of those bands, it's like, okay, that's like still like 20, 30,000, okay? Like it doesn't work like that.
That's what people did to me before I got this place open. Like all of my friends.
Well, you should get this.
Yeah, you need to get this band. You need to get this band. I'm like, do you have any idea how much
don't you
that
think
costs?
if we could get like Limp Bizkit, like, because as much as we hear it every single weekend, they would be here if we could.
But also, even if you could afford it, this is a small venue than what they're compared to.
Tickets would have to be like $800.
A private event with Limp
Bizkit.
Yeah, people have to pay Paul McCartney prices to see Limp Bizkit.
Just call it an intimate night with Fred Durst.
No,
I mean, I'd be willing to lose money on a show after we start making money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, we need to make money first. Then we can afford to lose money on a show.
If we were going to do something like that, we'd have to do the back parking lot.
Yeah. But I get it. People get excited, when AJ first, when you guys first started Carolina Headbangers, you had no idea it would turn into what it's turned into.
Not at all. Not at all. It just started. So, this is basically a group that sat there for, because there was a group of friends. And then we had the Facebook group, and are we recording? Is this all live?
Yeah,
we're always recording.
It's not live, but we're
it's a rolling start.
Well, we told the story in the first episode AJ was on, which feels like forever ago. That was back in my home office next to my garage.
That was a while
back.
It's
been a long time.
It's been about 2 years.
It's been a couple years, yeah.
Oh my God.
And so we, if you want to know the story of how they became Carolina Headbangers, you can go back and watch that episode. But now what you've grown to, it's kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah, we just hit 10,000, which was really great. So I remember being at 250, and so I don't know if it's really changed, like the vibe of everything, Met some cool, new people. I've introduced people to bands that maybe they wouldn't have found so easily, Mm-hmm. It took a few more years to find, or
that was one of my favorite things about early on when I first joined the group was getting to know bands that I had no idea were like War, for one. War out of Raleigh area.
Oh, yeah, and they, believe it or not, they played the very first Headbangers Ball.
They did.
The very first band, and they had another show that day. And I think even the guitar player, something was where they played maybe without a bass player, but they still came down, did the show, and they've taken off since.
Yeah.
I think they did a few Blue Ridges as well. Even when before Dying Oath, and there was Mindy's first band, Murder Maiden, was the year before that, and then it's she joined Dying Oath a couple years later, and to see all of them just really everyone seemingly start around the same time, and to see everyone take off, and to
Well, Carolina Headbangers is a perfect example of what can be done for good with the social media group and things like that, because it's one of the few groups. I'll even shout out Icons, very much the same. everyone's super supportive. There's no like back and forth. Occasionally somebody will try to shit on something, but for the most part, everyone's pretty upbeat and positive and supportive, and it's a great way to discover new bands.
Well, and that's it. And they're very, it's a very like tight knit family almost. Even when I went to emo night last night, which is not my really senior crowd, but I still saw people I know. I saw.
You had that emo hair.
Shout out to Scott and Sharon.
I know you had a AFI album.
I used to have the hair. What do you think?
That's what I just said.
It looked more like Garth Brooks when Chris Gaines,
no.
though. It was more like that, though. It wasn't so much Gerard Way or whatever. But so for a show of music last night, emo night, and I grew up through, and that was what was when I was in high school. It was on the radio and stuff. And I still felt like I was 10 years too old to be there, That was a weird feeling. A little bit, So it's cool to see these younger generations, man. They're really, I think that's one of the beautiful things of very few beautiful things of social media, but it is getting to discover music, and you can discover so much now. It used to be you had to go buy the CD, and if the CD cover looked cool, that was usually my thing. Like if it was a cool album cover, that means the album's gonna be.
Yeah,
Should be good.
Should be. Doesn't mean this.
How many times did you buy a CD because you heard one song, and you play this, and like you're playing the album, and you're like, well, this sucks. This sucks. You get to then like maybe track 3 is a song you're on. Like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, this is
and then it keeps playing. You're like, well, this sucks. It's like
I just spent $12 on this.
$16 for one song.
I know this is crazy. My favorite thing was to hit up like that, that bargain bin, like that dollar bin that they would have. It might just have singles in it, but you could, like, if you were brave enough to go in there and just look for something with a cool cover, you get some good stuff in there.
Find something cool.
Yeah, the art of the album cover, like that's
It draws you in.
It can get you.
Yeah, well, so even back then they had these things in Charlotte called CD Warehouse. And
Yeah.
people would sometimes, when you had computers, and they would just load it to their computer and bring it right back. So sometimes you could get some new stuff, but I think that allowed me to even dig deeper into the older stuff, like all the Led Zeppelins and all the stuff that I was raised on growing up. Because at that time when I was in high school, like music was really, it was about the 01 to 03, 04. Music kind of like, it was a weird time for rock and roll. There wasn't no like,
new metal had just kind of like taken over
and started to kind of dissolve, like not going away, but
it went from alternative to new metal. When we're just specifically talking about rock and roll, and then like new metal kind of opened the doors for like metalcore, and you had your All That Remains and your Killswitch Engage, and Devil Wears Prada, and like that was kind of like one genre, and then all these other spin-off genres started popping up.
Yeah, it was and it's cool that this stuff's making a really big resurgence now. I think with there's a lot of new metal bands in North Carolina. Heathen Sun,
Redefine's pretty awesome.
Redefine's great.
Yeah, I love those guys.
They have great merch.
They
do.
really do.
They do have great merch.
Oh god, they really do. And they're some of the nicest guys ever.
Yeah, they have a Bucky shirt that was like, next time I see y'all, I'm like,
Timmy
please save
regretted
a 2X.
getting that like a couple weekends ago. He's like, I wish I'd gotten that.
Well, so it's like for me, it's like because I don't even have a Bucky shirt. I've never been.
Yeah, me either.
So that's like the closest, I'll probably. I mean, one day I'll make a trip, hopefully, but for now, I'll just have the redefined Bucky shirt. Ooh.
See, there you go.
That was like my home away from home growing up, Myrtle Beach. I've even done a show there before.
I was just about to say, have you been able to book a show for the Headbangers in Myrtle Beach yet?
So we did one a couple years ago at Gator Tales. We did a beach slap.
Shout out to Kat.
And and she, so there is some pretty big things going down there. Recently I think there's another promoter who got some stuff started, and they're having shows regularly, which is good to see. I mean, even that night it was packed out. So I think there's given the right locations and times and dates and lineups and stuff, of course. But it's good to see though. With Myrtle Beach, because like I said, I went on a lot of vacations there and stuff like that. I'd like to do some shows again there. Now that I think at that time there was only maybe a few bands that were from that area, and I want to say like during this whole COVID thing the last few years, you've seen a lot of bands like younger people picking up instruments and really starting to even in the Charlotte scene.
It's
and
really encouraging. We just had Cosmic Twink here. They are phenomenal. Such a good band. Even like with like your kind of post punk, like your True Liliths and Wasteoid, and like, there's some really really good young.
Yeah, Out of Oblivion.
Oh my God, those kids are so good.
Fear Illusion and it was Seamless Vision. Those kids.
They were just here with Filth. That was a killer show.
It
and Pathologic.
really was.
Yeah.
Ooh. I've heard good things. I mean, I've seen Filth and I've seen Seamless and Fear Illusion was here too, right?
Yeah.
Fear Illusion played the last Headbangers Ball.
They did.
And their brother band, Seamless Vision, is going to get to play this year's Headbangers Ball.
Yep.
Thank you for that, by the way.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. That and so it's also between those bands, they're the willingness and the eagerness to want to play them, and hey, I dig the sound and stuff, so I'm like this. I look forward to it from like a fan perspective. A lot of bands, some of the guys I'm friends with, some of them I'm just fans of the music. I don't even know a person in the band, but I just send out a message and hope for the best.
Let's take this since we're talking about the bands. You want to give the rundown? Let's talk about the lineup for this year's Headbangers Ball.
Luckily, I brought the flyer.
There's a lot of names.
Oh, you're going to have to read it.
Yeah.
Nobody
Okay.
can see that.
Okay. So gosh, we got it's a very heavy lineup this year. Of course, I got my buddies in Annabelle Lee back. They're 5th year in a row.
I wore my shirt today.
Yeah, they are great friends of mine. I actually asked Josh if I'm gonna tell him to watch this, and I'm gonna guilt trip him right here. But I said, Josh, can you be there too? And he never responded. But my buddies in Heft, they're from Greensboro. They've been around for 8 years.
I'm
7
so
years
glad
now.
you got Heft on this, because I've been unsuccessful reaching out to those guys to get them down here for a show. I saw them open a show down in Ground Zero.
Mikey, answer your messages.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to see Heft again.
yeah, they had a show last night at the Milestone there, I believe. I run in, and I think Mikey, not putting too much information out there, but he also books and makes his own shows and stuff like that as well. So yeah, we got Savage Empire, Seamless Vision, of course. My buddies in Head Trip Trauma are coming out from Fayetteville there. Yeah, it's just, I think it's, then there's some newer ones that I've never even did shows with, like such as Severed by Dawn from South Carolina. They're making, I've seen them live and stuff like that, and just seeing the great things said about these guys, I think they even earlier in the year got a shout out from, it was like Knotfest or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Gave them a small little shout out, and Graveyard Boulevard is going to be cool too.
Those guys are so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the best.
They're one of the most fun metal bands.
I've known them for, this is going to date myself, about 20 years now.
Yeah.
So when you were 13,
No. Oh, well,
let's go with
but no.
So, yeah, I'm excited for that. I don't think I haven't got to see Graveyard Boulevard yet. I mean, I've met Ray, a couple of the horror conventions and stuff like that, and he'll be out here also with his I'm gonna mess up the name of his comic
Monster.
Comic Monster, but they'll have a 10 out here as well, and yeah, I'm just excited. Victim Complex.
We love those kids.
Yeah, a lot of people in the scene don't realize they know Pete, but they know Pete. He's doing sound for you.
Yeah. You got one coming up from is it Charleston or Georgia?
I'm not quite sure. Enemy Within.
Enemy Within.
Enemy
Yeah.
Within.
I'm really excited to see them. We had them on the books for a show back in May, and then Ariana. I don't want to put her business out there. Something happened, and
We'll
they
just
couldn't
edit
make-
it out.
Yeah. Something happened, and they couldn't make the show, and I was really bummed because I went and listened to them, and just really excited.
Really good.
And so I'm really, really happy to finally get Enemy Within in here.
Yeah, and they did a show earlier in the year we had with like Dying Oath and a few other bands that in Charlotte there, but Yeah, super awesome sound. Is fresh, really fresh sound, you know. And they're still a relatively new band, you know. And but yeah, a great show, you know. And I think they put out a new single too recently. I don't remember the name of it, but check them out if you can. Check out their new single too. It's great. But that and one of my buddies from well, it used to be a couple of guys from Haymaker, you know, the original guitar player and then the singer have a band called Thick, which is very heavy. It's I had to read
thick.
it. To hell I come close. So that's what Thick stands for. And you know, and Tyler Wright. So speaking of Tyler Wright of Thick, he was the guy that, you know, I got to credit most of the Headbangers Ball and helping me find the location to have the first one and stuff like that, and kind of pushing that idea, you know. It was definitely, he was a big part of it. So to have him back and stuff like that, and you know, maybe one of these years we'll get Haymaker back again too, you know.
I've been trying to get a Haymaker show. I've been talking with Josh about you know, having a Haymaker show, and we even thought we had one on the books, but it's going to be an Annabelle Lee show now. So.
Yeah, you know, different schedules, and the one of the guys is off in the coursing now, and of course, you know, Tyler has Thick, and then the other two, Brendan and Josh, have Annabelle Lee, of course,
Yeah.
but still one of my favorites. You know, I one of the bands I've seen 20 plus times, maybe. You know, there's a lot of bands I've seen 20 plus times, but I think overall energy, and you know, like I said, there's probably some biasm there, you know, but to me, it's just a great live show and really fun. But that also being said, Thick is pretty good, and I'm excited for people to see them. And you know, they played a few shows around here. You know, recently I think they played this place called Club Dub out in Bessemer City, and
It's just weird to me.
yeah, it's gonna be you know.
City has a place.
Oh, you know what? I also got a shout. Detest the Throne's gonna be on that lineup too. I don't want to skip those guys because they've.
Yeah, we
they're
love
great,
to
you know.
test the throne.
Yeah, John.
They're
and
the
those dudes.
homies. John and Ramon both. We love them.
Yeah, no, they're great. You
Yes.
know, to have them come back again too. You know, it's always great. You know, cool dudes.
You know, it's funny. Our bartender, she's known John for 15 years or so, and she had never seen him perform live until they did
Really?
the show back here in May, and it was just kind of fun to watch her.
Yeah.
Like, she was just in awe. Like, she didn't know what to expect. She had no idea that he had a metal band. She just knew him forever as a friend, and you know, from bartending and
Yeah.
stuff. And it was kind of fun to watch Melissa react to Detest the Throne. She was so happy for him, so proud
Oh,
of him.
that's great.
I
That
got
is-
the sweetest reaction from Ramon last time because they played here a couple of times. He gets out of his car and goes, "Hey, mama!"
Yeah.
Well, you know, and that's the cool thing about some of these, you know, at least with some of the Headbangers Balls and stuff like that, or the Bleeding Hearts Ball, it's getting to see like a lot of my friends' parents show up.
Yeah.
You know, like, hi, like, hey, AJ, this is my mom. Like, and it blows my mind because she's only a couple years older than me. But, you know, like, it's just really cool. I've had, you know, a couple years ago, I've had my mom and stepdad come out to a show or whatever. It's a little bit too heavy for them, but they still came out and supported.
That's awesome,
you know,
though.
and stuff like that. I mean, preferably, I love my family, but it makes me nervous when they're around. So it's like I don't want to look out into the crowd and see my whole family standing there. That's like the weight of the world. So you know,
But you don't want to see him in the mosh pit?
then maybe, you know, but somebody get too rough with my mama though, you know.
Dude, if I saw my dad in the mosh pit, it would make me so happy.
It would, you know.
And I would immediately be right in the mosh pit picking him up.
It is, you know, and even for my friends, you know, now that can bring their kids to shows and stuff like that, like their kids are starting to get old enough, or maybe they're not, their kids aren't old enough, but they're, you know, 5 and 6 years old and they're just running around having a good time,
Yeah.
you know. And I think with this year with the Headbangers Ball too, we'll try to set up to where we have like each vendor has candy, you know, the kids can go around. You
Oh,
know,
that's cool.
let the parents look
okay,
at it,
I'll
you
talk
know.
to the vendors.
Speaking
Yeah.
of, we should probably mention the Headbangers Ball is Saturday,
October
October
28th.
28th, here at the Rooster. And, you know, I like how you're building. This will be the 5th annual Headbangers Ball. It'll be our 2nd year hosting it. And every year it's gotten a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And I really appreciate the way that you're growing this because you're not trying to go too big too fast. 'Cause
Well,
that's a huge mistake that was
Yeah.
recently, you know, shown evidence with a certain festival, trying to go too big too fast. Yeah, I'm not gonna throw them under the bus because I still had a good time there. But
Yeah, I did
yeah,
too.
made the most of it, whatever. But that was a prime example of like trying to take on more than you're ready for. And
Yeah.
because I approached AJ about this, when we started talking about planning this year, I was like, "Do you want to put a stage outside?" And I started talking about how we could have the music going inside and outside. Like as soon as one's over, I'm over here like, let's go big, and AJ's like pumping the brakes, like not let's. And he was right, because what we've done this year is we've created we've taken the parking lot out back, we've permitted it for the show, and instead of putting a stage there, we're doing a whole Halloween market, band merch tables, food trucks, fun games, activities. There actually will be some entertainment outside
Yes.
as well, just not a big, huge stage. And I like that because it's going to give us an opportunity to see just how many people we can get to show up outside. Because that's the other thing. Let's say we go spend all this money on the stage, light, and sound, and 400 people show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, have we made our money back?
Well,
Probably
that's
not.
that's it, and it's important for me to with the with paying the bands and being just being able to take care of everything, but also to kind of leave the vendors out there to have their spotlight. I like to have everyone involved. I think that's the cool thing, is having the community. And some of the vendors are people I've known for years. Some of them that started businesses, and we're all out here trying to start something. Get some entrepreneurship or whatever. But it's cool to see everyone can come together, and maybe this doesn't relate to metal music, but it's cool to have. It's not like, because I think the metal communities.
Well, no, it's actually, I actually
very-
disagree. I think it's a prime example of the strength of the metal community to be able to put on a market and have everybody come out and
with
make
the
some money.
diversity and
I'm notorious at this point for saying metal's the most supportive community.
They really are.
And this this year, like everyone involved that's putting this show together is going to benefit from it.
Well, that's it too, and and to see like to not have to have cover bands, or not to have to survive on the strength of something like that, to have just a heavy music festival, and even better that in this certain show I try to center. We might go a little regional sometimes, like go to Virginia. We've kind of adopted some of those bands, but try to keep it within the North and South Carolina thing, to show people like, this is what's going on in your backyard. This is and
I mean, it is Carolina Headbangers.
well, that's it too, and not to confuse it, because and this is nothing against the cover band. I know plenty of cover bands. I sing covers all the time. I love covers, but it's but it's original music, and these people are getting to succeed on their dreams.
They're pouring their heart and soul into something, and this is an opportunity to showcase it.
Share it with people.
With a bigger crowd than you're going to get most weekends.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a big time. We're going to have a lot of fun. I brought in an extra bartender.
Well, that's it, and every time, every couple of years, there's just more and more people come. Even over the past, the past Headbangers Balls. I mean, I've seen somebody got married. When we were doing it in the backyard, somebody's like an ice cream truck just drove straight up the hill, right into the backyard, and just parked right in the middle of the backyard there. And you turn around, and there's just a whole ice cream truck there. The guy's like, hey, man, why don't you just make a left here and go up the front yard and just pull back there and set up,
Okay.
And we do have food trucks. We got Canyon Barbecue food truck will be back, and then Paw Paw's Delightful truck will be back with burgers and hot dogs. So you'll have plenty of food.
We got tacos.
Tacos, too.
and
Tacos, ceviche.
I didn't know about those two.
Yeah,
But ceviche is something that I just learned the other day from you.
Yeah.
that's the Blue Ocean Delight.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
And then we'll have the Mia's snow cream back. They were here at.
So a little bit of something for everybody.
That was my favorite. That was
Right?
It was so good.
It was everybody's favorite. They sold out three
I
times.
might have to get some from. I think last time when Bruce Dog was here, I bought something from all those food trucks. Like,
Yes.
it was just cool to mix it all up and have all. So it's like it's cool. You get like you get a little bit of everything.
Costume contest.
Well, and we have a costume contest with thought out prizes this year. You know, it wasn't anything from like, you know, I tried to plan it a little bit ahead to give people an idea, but you know, also incentive to, you know, like, because a lot of venues and stuff you can't dress up. You know, a lot of these I've been reading stories recently where people go with their faces painted, or they go with you know, a costume and stuff like that, and because of security reasons or whatever, or bigger venues, they won't allow it. You know, so it's very cool to have that. You know, to have, you know, people just get to have fun. You know,
Yeah.
just kind of let all the other life's bullshit and everything just kind
You
of.
could spend the entire day here
Pause.
and remain completely anonymous. Nobody know who you are.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, you know. I just take all this off and I just go hang out in the corner over there near the bar. But I was like, who's that guy? But
I think that's AJ.
my buddy Jesse will walk by me every time. He's like, man, I didn't know you were here. Every single time.
It's your Superman disguise.
We'll get you a wig.
It is like the Clark Kent thing. So when I go back out into like the normal civilian public, I'll just take all this back off and just blend in, you know. But yeah, you know, it's I'm looking forward to it. This year too, we've had, I personally, I've had more people that wanted to be a part of it and sponsor, and just cool stuff, you know, like
those
just people
sponsorships
that really
are
believe
big.
in
I
it,
want
you know.
to.
It's a big
want
thing.
to thank every single one of the sponsors,
Yeah.
because without the sponsors, like we want these bands to make money.
It does too, and
Yeah,
it
it really
allows
helps.
for decorations, for these, for just everything that's involved with it, you know, beforehand, you know, and it's something that it's cool, you know. I think it's a way for them to also to get you know, 3 or 4 months of promotion for a very good price too. But I just like, you know, it's more so the fact that just people generally just want to help out, and they see maybe what I'm doing or see what the scene's doing, and they want to be a part of that. And that to me is it's very unexpected, but it's very yeah, you know, it's cool. It's really nice
Yeah.
to see. So should I do one of those things where I just read them all off?
Might as
as
well.
fast as I
yeah.
possibly can?
Yeah, let's give them some love.
All right, so the first sponsor we have is the Crowned Owl and the Black Goat. You might be able to tell me some more.
They're some of our vendors from the Misfit Market, and it was just, they're two great guys. They make a whole bunch of handmade stuff, and they're actually going to be set up as part of the market as well. But they just wanted to give themselves a little extra promotion.
It's funny. I didn't see them being like wanting to get involved with the metal. They're so soft spoken
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
and chill and quiet
Yeah.
and kind of mousy. And like,
Yeah.
they want to, you know, they've been participating in the Misfit Market for
a while
months
now, yeah.
now, and now they've become a sponsor of one of our shows.
Yeah.
So
Once you
shout
get
out
to know them, they're definitely, they're not mousy.
Yeah, and that's so another one. This was a guy that I recently became acquainted with, but he does a horror convention in South Carolina, but he's with SC Horror. But he's kind of just starting out. I think he's about a few years into it too, and he just had a big horror convention there in Columbia maybe like 2 weeks ago. But so he'll be here. He'll have his table set up as well. Maybe a few guests. We'll see. But it's all top secret for the moment. But just a lot of great people. We got my friends with the Queen City Bearded Villains is friend Jesse. He plays in a band called Action Jackson, which is an amazing cover band from like the Mint Hill area, Charlotte there. But they play out, and they're great.
What do they cover?
A little bit of everything. So
So they're not a tribute. They're a cover band.
yeah, so they're more like a they play them in their style.
Okay.
So like
Kind of like a Me First and the Gimme Gimmes type kind of thing.
sorta, but they play just kind of like the things that like they might play Megadeth, they might play like Symphony of Destruction or something, or then they're playing Billy Idol, or they're playing like they'll have like the basic the songs you'll hear mostly at bars type songs,
Yeah.
but then they also have a set made up of songs they want to play. So
Nice.
one might be Pantera. And knowing like little Jackie or whatever, but she really just gives it her all, and it's they're all great. Ron plays with Blackwater Drowning, and then like with Eric, he was actually a member with Wednesday 13 way back in the day, in the scene days. But he's their drummer. So they're great. But not to get too sidetracked on Action Jackson, but shout out to those guys. we got the Misfit Market, which is
I don't know.
sponsor.
I don't know who those people are.
But they're basically, they help organize the vendors, and they do a wonderful. They have a wonderful. Was that yesterday? God, was that yesterday?
It was a Halloween market
I'm
yesterday.
so sorry.
And then we got one next weekend too.
Okay, they got them next week, and thank God, because
First Saturday
First
every
Saturday
month.
of every month.
first Saturday of every month, and it's great. Come out here, you'll see a lot of the. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few vendors that are out here on the 28th.
They'll be out
back.
here on the 28th.
So get a sneak peek and get there early, get the good stuff before they sell it. But my friends and We the Faithless is another great one too. That these guys, I'm not sure exactly how maybe through Tyler or something, but they started just setting up a little tent, a merch tent, really like our first vendor to ever. We just let them set up a tent out there in the backyard and. And then it kind of became a thing where, a few other people would get involved and stuff like that. But really, we didn't have vendors a couple years ago. We had the band merch tables, and you might have had 2 or 3, and then maybe I had a table or something. But that's kind of, it's been a very cool addition. Dark Sky Studios is something really cool, and it's my buddy William Baker. He's the lead singer of Hollow Intent, but he's also a great producer. Does many songs with people. He's had songs with people from Dying Oath and or Mindy from Dying Oath, and just different artists that are within the scenes help produce. Great band. Maybe a band you'll see again soon. From what I was talking with them the other day, so you might see them here maybe one day next April 13th. But what's the next one we got? Okay, so we'll jump down to Rock Lab Studios.
Shout out to Todd Jackson.
Yes, Todd Jackson. What a great dude that guy is.
Solid. Solid as a man you're ever going to meet.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that because he's sponsoring my show either. I mean it. But he's
such
a good dude.
I called him up Friday, like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, just to ask him a question about where he got something. Right. He immediately.
Todd is
by the time I hung
always
up
on
the
it.
phone, I had a text with the guy's number.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you, dude.
Yeah.
Todd, you're the best.
Yeah, and I think honestly he was probably one of the first people to reach out to me. So I was
yeah.
like even looking. I mean, just very helpful. And his band, Witness Marks, are great.
Well, his
Great.
kids band.
Well, kids bands,
Yeah.
but we'll see. He's like the dadager. Is that the word for
dadager.
it?
The dadager?
Yeah.
I would say that's fair. But
I don't like that word.
I guess the next one would be of course we have our buddies with the pit crew or
Icon Pit Crew.
yeah, they those are guys that I go way back with. A lot of people that are in there currently I didn't know back then, but I knew William Spoon from early Carolina Rebellion days, if people still remember that, and seeing them hold the signs and just always being so supportive and keeping it safe in the pits and stuff like that, and just basically just there keeping an eye on each other and, and like I said, it's very much a family thing, and they'll be out here. I don't know if they're selling shirts, but they'll have a merch table, I believe, as well. I want to say they'll have some cool bandanas and maybe a few T-shirts and stuff like that. And so you
have an opportunity to learn more about what Icon Pit Crew is, and have an opportunity to join that family too if you want.
Well, it is, and I think that people should definitely check that out. It's very similar to the Headbangers. It's very, but reasonably so. It's not a rivalry or nothing by any means. It's very much just a friendly,
Yeah, no, I mean, not at all. There's nothing. It's
Nothing.
Working together has helped build both groups.
It has too, and there's some of the best people that are involved with that, whether it's Missy Wood or Tim or Spoon himself, or just the people. Those people have been so supportive of what I've done over the years, and I'm super supportive. I love what they do.
Well, both groups identified early on that there was an opportunity here to work together. You still have, because you do similar things, but they're different, right?
It is.
And working together and supporting each other. I mean, a lot of people that are in the Headbangers are Pit Crew family.
Are the same,
and vice versa. And by building community that way, like, we can all still have like our identity, our thing that we do. We can grow it, and we all keep growing together, and both families get bigger. There's no reason to be competitive. I know there's other groups out there that do similar things that want to shit on, one of the other groups.
No, you'll see that every once in a while.
And when I see that, I'm just like, you're doing it wrong. Like if that's your approach, you're doing it wrong.
It is, and it's just I don't know if you call it trolls, or just people. I don't know. But it's not doing anything to grow it, And I think if between both groups or whatever, it's something to where, and they're good for it as well. But you're bringing people that maybe don't really have friends, or maybe they might have a couple they work with or something like that, But we get into our 30s and we. It's
well, you want to have a social life as an adult, right?
Well, that's it,
and it's like
giving
you
people
have
that chance.
If this is something that you're into, why not share it with other people, that are into it,
Right.
And look, I see a lot of posts in these group pages where people are just looking for some support or advice, or sometimes people just need someone to talk to, and there's always someone there
to pick them
to
back
pick
up.
them up.
Yeah, and that's
And that's what it's about. That's why these groups exist.
Well, that's it. They fall down and just you pick them back up. It's just. It's a pit
Not just a
terminology, but
euphemism.
it's just really and I'm thankful. I'm thankful that it exists. It's cool, man. I one of my favorite things personally is turning people onto music that they might not know, or maybe helping them, find a band or something that they. I have a lot of friends where I just send music links anyway. I'm like, do you know these guys? You check this band out.
That's true friendship when you have somebody else send you music.
It is, and I get people sending it all the time too. And it's great. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know if I would find if people didn't just randomly send it. And I've had bands play shows like that just because they sent it, and I just liked it that much that I was like, yeah, okay, like let's do this, and
So shout out to Icon Pit Crew for sponsoring.
Yes.
Any more sponsors that we should shout out?
Yeah, we got like 10 more of them, but we'll make it a little quicker this time. But we got the Hawker Detailing Services, which is a buddy John. It was his nephew's business. They detail cars. Hawker's Detailing Services. Check them out. We got Missy Wood with the Creative Music Management, which is within the last couple of years, she manages all types of bands, Scars Remain, Strike the Tower, and the things she does for the community is great. And I know she does a lot of shows here. Mm-hmm. She's got a birthday show coming up.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
She'll be turning 29, October 21st.
This is just so flattering today, AJ.
I'm trying, but she does great. And if you're in a band and you need services, hey, reach out. Missy's the one. She'll get you playing some shows and get you hooked up on some cool merchandise and stuff like that. Another one is it's called Mixtape, and I think it's another local promoter, and she's out of not really the area of it, but let's say farther in North Carolina. But she does shows, and maybe not metal shows, but she does a little bit of everything, stuff like that. But also another really, just badass, cool promoter in the area. Another one's her friend Andrea, go back a ways, but she has something called Goth Unicorn, and she does her own podcast. And
For Fuck's Sake.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For Fuck's Sake. It's a great podcast. She features local bands, local music.
And both of them sponsored me, by the way.
Yeah.
But she's great, and she's a lovely person, and I know she does.
Yeah.
She does all different, she does like the what kind of the shows here, right?
The drag shows.
The drag shows and stuff like that. So if you're into that, she does it, and she does them great. So check them out. Another one that. Well, we can make the announcement now, I guess. But so one of the sponsors was Fury 58, and originally they weren't, because they had a show maybe later. But I think we're gonna fit them onto like the very beginning of the lineup on the 28th there. So they're gonna come out and do their thing, and because it was I was grateful enough that they were gonna sponsor it, and I think they wanted to play, but It's like
So they didn't buy their way in. You just felt obligated to put them on. You're like, man,
yeah, they guilt tripped me. They're like, well, we did pay you $25. You know, it's like, how can I tell you guys no now? But I mean, it's a very. I'm not saying you have to pay. No one has to pay their way. But it's nice sometimes. But so another one's Crusader Games, and they're sponsoring us, and they're gonna kill me because I can't. I'm trying to remember who it is exactly.
Brain fart.
But I don't remember right now, so we'll get back to you on that. But check them out, Crusader Games. They're on Facebook, and they're great. I'm gonna mess it up, and Megan's. I don't know if she watches this, but Ambient Absy Photography. She's gonna be out here shooting. She's a really good friend of mine. I think the Absy thing was she used to work at like haunts and stuff like that, and that was her character.
Okay.
Was like a killer clown type of thing. But she does great photography. She's out of Greenville, South Carolina there, and she shot for like Redefined and does a lot with Award to Win and stuff like that. And those guys, and you know, awesome photography, and you should definitely check it out. And the last one is which is the longest name on the whole thing. XB2XR, Crossbeams, 2 Crossroads Creative, and another photographer that'll more than likely be out here.
Shout out to Mike.
Great work, you know.
Great work.
He holds the record for most shows at the Rooster.
Yeah, he does.
He's been here more than Michael, but so no, the
That
great.
might actually
both
be
of them
true
are
because
great.
there was a
Tanya-
show I couldn't be at one night and he was here.
Yeah.
He is, and he's you know he's hungry. He's starting out. He takes amazing photos, and so yeah, check him out on Facebook, Instagram, all that as well. But so that's it for the sponsors. I think we got them almost.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's more.
There's a lot of sponsors.
More
on there.
sponsors than bands, but don't worry, everyone. Like,
But that's what it takes to put this stuff together. I mean, it's probably a good point to make. You know, without the help of these sponsors, it would be impossible to make this show this big.
And it speaks
Yeah.
to people that believe in you and what you're doing too.
well, I think so. You know, and I like I said, they're all. Most of them are all friends in a way. Somehow I go back with, and some of them are not. You know, but it's just the cool. It feels good. You know, it feels good to have that kind of support and stuff like that. Because a lot of times, you know, sometimes you'll question what you're doing and saying, "Oh, like you know, I could have went off and just had kids and just lived a normal
there's
life."
so
you
much
know?
anxiety doing this.
It's a lot of anxiety.
Oh my
you know?
God.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, like literally, like doing this speaks to how well I was doing with my mental health before this place.
Yeah.
Evidently, I didn't have that many problems
No.
before because I've never been so uncomfortable in my life that I am now doing these shows because it's so hard to do and pull off and get people motivated. But it helps when there's people like AJ, people like Icon, people like Missy, people like Ariel and Bob that want to support what you're doing. When people identify, they see something special, they see something they want to be a part of, and they jump on. And that's why you have so many sponsors. All of these people have been watching what you've been doing, you know, not just with the Headbangers Ball, but all of the different shows you guys do around North and South Carolina and Virginia. You know, you may have to rename it because you're getting a lot of Virginia love here lately.
Yeah,
And-
man.
and Georgia.
East
Yeah.
Coast Headbangers Ball.
Bluefield, Virginia has there's I don't know what it is about Bluefield, Virginia.
There's a lot of bands
So
from there.
our host KB, you know, the prior
Yeah.
host, she's from Bluefield, and Mindy and some of the dying. So the original creator of Headbangers was actually from Bluefield, and when he moved here, the connection wasn't there yet, which is strange. It's just like he happened to be from Bluefield, but I don't think he might have introduced a few people to it, but it just was coincidental. And there's like 40 something people that just in
Yeah,
the group
and that's how
alone
the
that
Bleeding- and
are
that's how the
from the
Bleeding
town of
Hearts Ball.
Bluefield, Virginia.
Yeah.
You know,
That's how the Bleeding Hearts Ball was born. And it's kind of like a sister show to the Headbangers Ball, really.
Yeah.
It's because
it is, you know, and it is, and we originally had one. It was like, you know, the Gas House Festival too, and so it's very much, yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. Really, it is kind of like the sister to the thing, you know. You know, and I'm glad we can do this thing twice a year now. You know, it's you know, it's something that I think allows me from maybe not having to. I'm not opposed to doing like 2 days in a row or 3 days back to back, but like it comes down to the thing again of like too much, you know, or just maybe not say overkill, but so you had something like some of these rock festivals and stuff like that.
It wears you out.
And it's almost, you know, so the one day of the Blue Ridge Fest I had was great, but it was so many great bands that it almost takes a lot to process it all. Like, you know, you're literally enjoying this one, you're done enjoying it, and then it's like on to the next one. It's a very turn the channel type of process, and it's almost too much. But I think, you know, for now we'll keep it to like one day. You know, who knows? I
We've got
really
so much room to
natural
grow. Like
progression,
we said at the beginning of the podcast, starting by just
Wouldn't
incorporating the parking lot, because like last year we didn't permit the lot, so we were having to tell people to leave their beer at the door, and I was like, fuck, that was just it was so much work for my security just to make sure people weren't taking alcohol in the parking lot. So this year we've permitted a lot, so now, and we're even going to have a beer tent outside, so you can buy beer while, because some people are going to want to hang out outside for most of the day. There might be 1 or 2 bands they want to come in and see, but they want to hang out at the lot and see what's going on out here and get some food. And then, you know, who knows, maybe next year we expand it and the market's a little bigger, or maybe next year we bring in a stage outside and we move the market back. And there's so many ways we can grow with this. And then if we start to reach a critical mass where we have to make it a 2-day thing, then so be it. But that may not happen. The goal here is to just keep growing it so that more and more people are exposed to heavy music, more and more people are exposed to this community and can become a part of this community, and we can all live happily ever after.
Well, yeah, well, that's it. You know, it's to not to, you know, just burn ourselves out too quickly, or, you know, or like I said, in all honesty, no one wants to walk away from this losing money. You know, it's not about making money, but you don't want to be there losing money.
At the end of the day, you want to have
no one wants to
something
come out
for
with
your
empty
efforts.
pockets and be like, oh, you know. But I think, you know, the most part is, you know, for me, at the end of it all, you know, before all the anxieties going into it, and you're in your head and you're like, you hope this many people come or this people, and you're just. Usually, what happens every time I've found out is the right people are there. You know, it doesn't matter if that's 20 people or if that's 300. You know, the right ones that are meant to be there are there, and it's always a good time. You know, everyone's always in a good mood no matter what.
Last year we clocked in right at 200 people for the Headbangers Ball. So let's beat that. Let's beat that this year. Let's get it 250, 300 out here. Let's fucking do it. Like, let's. Yeah.
Well, let's not go.
Fire marshal gonna shut us down.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Calm down.
But I mean, look, it's a full day. It's basically at this point it's a festival. You know, it's the Headbangers Ball. We've got, is it 13 bands? Is that right?
Yeah. So it is 13 bands. So and plus maybe.
There are some
13.
surprises.
Lucky number 13.
Yeah, there are some surprises. There's some things that AJ's not going to talk about yet. So you know, don't miss out on that. There's going to be a vendor market. There's going to be food, costume contest. Do you want to talk about the giveaways real quick?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and because I think that's amazing too. So with the first prize being, I guess we'll offer a.
We're offering a hall pass.
Shows,
we're offering a hall pass for 2024.
So you and a friend, you know, you want to look cool in front of your girl. You can win the contest. You take her to any show. You can take all your friends, whatever, you know. But you got the all access.
All access to the Rooster in 2024.
Yeah, you can't come behind the bar though. Not all
or in
access,
the green room.
but or back here or on stage or anything. But all access.
You can hang out.
For the open area and the
Out there.
It's not that great of a prize, actually.
Yeah.
It's just free tickets for a year.
So, but yeah, so that's, you know, and I think that's something very cool, you know, I know something I'd want to win, you know. I don't know if I'm eligible, but
No, none of us are.
yeah, I don't think none of us are eligible, sadly, but
I want to dress up, but
you know, I just got to tell everyone they got to watch out for Scott and Sharon Callahan. I think they won last year's ZZ Top. Were they the winners?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see.
They got something good cooking, but I think a lot of people are going to really get dressed up this year. I know I am for the first time in 4 years. I have a couple different costumes, but
I'm going to dress up too. My wife and I are doing a tandem costume for this year.
oh, that's going to be great.
Okay.
We talked about it last night.
Okay, I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know why I always in the past I just never, maybe just never dress up. I guess just worried about too many other
you're worried
things,
about getting the show, but now you've got support. Now you can freeze you up a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's it, and so I can go out and actually just have fun with it because it's one of my favorite holidays.
Yeah.
So first prize is a hall pass for 2024. So free shows for a year here at the Rooster. What's second place going to get?
So second place will be just a band merch package. Pretty much you're going to get everything from every band. You might have like one thing. So this band might have a T-shirt. This one has some stickers or some CDs.
So a little something from everybody.
Yeah, you'll get a little bit of everything. So if you're here all day and you check out these bands and they'll get you set up with T-shirts that fit and all this cool stuff. So just something cool. And I'll throw some stuff in. And I believe we'll get on to the third place prize, but. The third place will be We the Faithless. It's our friends. They have like a rock and roll jewelry thing, and you can just go there and pretty much at the end of the night just get you $50 worth of cool stuff. And they have some amazing stuff. Some of this one's from We the Faithless, but then I think there might even be, even though it wasn't announced the other day, I know Missy also. She's going to donate something to that too, so we might make that into the third place prize. So you might have something from Missy and
we haven't really talked about this
We
yet,
the
but we are
Faithless.
going to create opportunity for more people to win stuff. So we're going to
we want people to go away with stuff. Everyone,
So we're going to do first, second, and third for basically what we're saying is best costume, most creative, right? But we can also do a sexiest costume.
Yeah,
right?
which once again will go to Scott and Sharon Callahan.
So so Missy's going to throw in a merch bundle from Creative Music Management. So that'll be we'll give that to the sexiest costume.
That, and I think also because I don't know, last year we probably had about 15, 20 kids, so we'll probably have a kids prize too. Something.
And I'm going to throw a Rooster merch bundle in.
I'll throw some shirts in, and we'll
make
probably
a
have some
Misfit
different
market
band
bundle.
stuff for the kids and stuff too.
I don't mind doing it.
As long as as trick or treat and stuff like that, we really want to make it a family, cool, fun thing to do. Instead of because there's fall festivals everywhere. I mean, let's get they're everywhere, and especially North Carolina. I mean, there's a lot of cool things even going that day as well.
Like a
But
fall festival around here.
but this is, your kids are under 13, you bring them in for free. Which is something I don't think we could offer last year. I don't think we were really quite there.
I don't think we were even thinking about it last year.
Nah, I don't think so. I think we started getting questioned that, like, hey, after that it was kids free for the Bleeding Hearts Ball. But yeah, so 13 and under. So don't worry about that babysitter. Don't worry about calling your parents to watch the kids. You can just bring them. Just bring them. Just keep an eye on them, please, though. That's
No feral
all.
children.
Yeah. No, they have just like make sure they're a little calm, and just watch them. But so it's just been one big family fun event,
Awesome. And that is, again, Saturday, October 28th. The doors will open at noon.
Doors will open at noon. Show starts at 1, and it'll go till 12 at midnight. And we'll have some other cool things too,
You can get tickets online right now by going to theroostergastonia.com, click on the events tab, and then scroll down to October 28th.
Yes.
And you can get tickets online that way, save $5.
Well, that too, and if you come dressed up to the show, you'll get $5 off. So
If you're in costume, it'll still be 20 at the door.
So so that's not a problem, So, but if you can get them in advance too, not to,
We want you to get them in advance so we can better prepare.
Well, that's it, and so we know exactly how much of different things we can have, and we have a few other things we're working on too, as far as things for the bands and stuff that day, and it's gonna be some cool stuff.
It's going to be a fun way to celebrate Halloween with some heavy metal music.
It's my birthday too.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm only gonna say that at one time. I'm only saying it one time, but
let's make sure he's got no room in his car when he goes home. So bring AJ a birthday
Oh
gift.
my gosh, Al.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's Well, you know, last time I was here, I had a merch table that went flying out the truck on 85. So I got to get a new one for the event. But what I have a merch table as well set up with. I was thinking about bringing out some old stuff. So I'm a big collector of things, of records and comics and toys and all this stuff I collected for 30 years.
So you're vending too? I need to put you on the vending list?
So some of that might come out this time. Yeah, you know, it's sadly sitting in like storage right now. You know, but I might bring out some cool things from over the years, cool autographs and different things that I've come across, and some really cool stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know,
this is going to be a fun time. It's going to be a big time. We're going to wrap it up. I got one last thing to say. Do not shit on my fucking floor.
What?
What?
Last year,
I didn't see that coming either.
last year we had to clean up a pile of shit in the men's bathroom.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Please don't do that this year.
If that was you, don't do it again.
It's so wild.
You know who you are. Don't do that again.
that I
please.
didn't even know about that till like a month after,
Yeah.
and that's so wild. They
I
did
wanted
that.
to wait to the end because most people have probably
Most
checked
of
out
us
by
is-
now. But I wanted to make sure I got that in there. Please don't shit on the floor.
Yeah, so
That was
don't do that.
disgusting.
Don't do that at
Ron,
all.
get our
Don't piss on the
reactions to him
floor
saying
either.
that too, please.
All right. AJ, thank you so much for doing this. We're going to get out of here.
Thank you for having me, man.
Carolina Headbangers Ball, baby. It's the 5th annual. It's bigger and better than ever. We're going to keep growing it. Show
October
up so we can do
28th.
that. Peace and love.